All right. Well, welcome to what would normally be a G-Force call. We did this on Thursday. We started G-Force not too long ago, but it stands for Force for Good. And I'll just give you a little background on it. Everything I've ever started has started from my irritation, mostly. I started my career out living in my car, and I wanted to learn business because I didn't want anybody to cap my calling. And I knew that if I relied on somebody else to do donations then for my orphanages, then I would never really be able to take it as far as I wanted to. So my heart was always to be a business as a force for good, have everything in my life be a force for good. And I've learned to be really, really picky on the voices that speak into my life. And so my number one filter is I only listen to people I want to be like and in that specific area. And so I would even find people that were amazing business entrepreneurs. They were doing what I wanted to do, but they would constantly tell me that I couldn't care about people or the planet in the way that I did and still make money. And so G-Force is a response to that. We give everybody the tools, the education, and the dang network to say that, no, you will not get knocked out of the game. We will be successful in business and we will be successful in our impact. And so that's a little background on just what G-Force is. It's a group of incredible entrepreneurs that have dedicated their lives, businesses, and resources to being a force for good. So this is what one of our calls is like. And because there is a bit of an emergency going on internationally, we are talking about the coronavirus. And so I think the next couple of months, we're going to be really strategically navigating this. And so they loved this call specifically, and they asked me to open it up to the broader world. And so I'm excited to be talking with several people. I know so many people on this call. And for those of you I don't know, I look forward to meeting you. But I really want to just gift you what I'm learning, how to prepare, how to navigate through this, how to be even stronger on the other side, which is something we talk about all the time. But this is a very scary thing. I don't know anyone, it doesn't matter how big, how billionaire, how successful, there isn't anyone not scared. So don't feel bad or weird if you're having these emotions, especially when your life affects other people. If you're an employer, this is a really big thing and very tough to navigate. So how do we do that? We do it collectively. We share ideas, we talk about what's working, and we don't go through it alone. That's the most important thing, is I know what it feels like to go through really, really, really tough times. And I know what it feels like to go through it alone. And so the purpose of this call too is to give you a network of people with great ideas, forward thinking, positive thinking, because it's going to get a little worse for a little while, and we're going to talk about that. But it is a time for everybody on this call to step up and be leaders and to be a voice of hope. So we'll talk about why and how you can do that. So just a little bit of data around the disease itself is majority of the infections are mild. Only 4.7% of the people who are infected are in intensive care and really struggling. We all know that the people that are most at risk are over 60 or with underlying health issues. America is going to be massively affected. 50% of Americans are said to be obese, and that is one of the many things that can really hurt when fighting this horrible disease. So it's an issue, and we have to be aware. The existing issues that are most affected are cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, abnormally high blood pressure, cancer, and more. But those are the top winners. So if you're looking at the infection trajectories right now, Italy is winning. This is updated on the 16th, and the US is following close behind. I've got a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself, that are extremely irritated about the quarantine. And we're going to talk about why it matters. The most important thing is that this is our healthcare system. If you guys can see my mouse, this is the healthcare system's capacity. If we do not actually self-quarantine and get people off the streets and stop spreading this, then it's going to be all the way up here, and people are going to be choosing, the doctor's going to have to choose who lives or dies just because we don't have enough resources to take care of the patients. So, like a good neighbor, stay over there. I've got a little video here that it really explains why social distancing matters. Again, it was the thing I was most irritated about as an entrepreneur. And we're going to talk about what we've done as a company to allow our people to work from home, what's working, how do you have the accountability. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But this is what happens if there is no social distancing or quarantining. In the last 24 hours, if you didn't know, today is the highest death day ever for this virus, and 1,602 deaths. And the predicted peak virus, where everybody's going to be in the hospitals. This is for the US. I know there's a lot of international people on this call, but I'm going to speak to the US for this specific date. It's predicted to be May 1st through 7th. So if you think you're going crazy right now, day 8 or whatever day you're on, everybody started at a different time, just be mentally prepared that it's going to last for a lot longer than you would like. But this is what happens to this disease and how we can, again, stay underneath our healthcare's capacity line by social distancing. A lot less people are going to be infected at the same time. And a lot of you are going to say, who cares? I'm young. Or who cares? I don't have health issues. I've taken care of myself. Or who cares? Business must go on. What matters is that life is greater than money. It is. Life is greater than money. And just because it may not be you, it still matters. But I am not going to settle for just saying it's not an option. You have to pick one or the other. We have to have both. And the only way that we can have both is through innovation. So I want to just explain a little bit of why this is not meant to be a disturbing negative call. We're going to be real, because if you're going to be responsible for anything, which you're responsible for affecting your community, then you better be in the know. You do need to know. So this is your business as usual income, if you own a business. This is your business on COVID-19. This is your business income on COVID-19. But these are the new genius ideas that you're going to come up with to not only survive and thrive, and we're going to share many of those on this call. When business does go back to usual, this is going to be your new business as usual income. So when I was living in my car, I remember just praying that somehow I would have $5,000. If somebody would just give me $5,000, I knew it would change my life forever. But I didn't ever get that money. And what's crazy is when you're at a whole new level of desperation, there's this part of your brain that taps into the Almighty God and gets new downloads. I like to call it survival creativity. And literally, you're opening yourself up to things you would have never had access to before. And with that will come so many inventions. I'm telling you, with this many people cooped up in their house, you know, the genius things that are going to come from this time. It's going to be crazy if we spend our time and focus correctly. So as a business owner, again, know that your business income may go to crap, but with the new ideas, plus business returning as usual, you're going to be double. So we're all going to claim, I don't care what you believe, you're going to claim spiritually, mentally, whatever you need to believe, that you're going to have double from this crisis. You know, I know that Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And in my life, my God is bigger than that. And he's also God of the entire universe, knower of all things past, present, and future. And he's always with me. So why would I not tap into that and find out what is going to work and help my friends at the same time? And that's why you guys are on the call. And that's why we're doing this. It officially is, as scary as it is, this is the greatest time and opportunity in the history of your life to become a multimillionaire, to become a mass influencer, and to help the most people. I'm telling you, you do not stumble on opportunities like this every day. This is an amazing time if played well. So watch carefully. So billionaires that were made during the Great Depression. There are hundreds and hundreds of these, but Publix was started. So again, these are companies that were started in the Great Depression. Publix, Marriott, Little Debbie's, 2008. Again, the list goes on and on and on, but there are billionaires and billionaires and billionaires made in the recession. I'll tell you why. So raise your hand if you've ever played the game CASHFLOW. If you haven't played it, it's like the most expensive board game ever. I think it's $200. You can get it on Amazon. But if you play this game, it actually talks about how you're living in a bubble of just paying your bills and just going to work and just paying your bills and going to work, paying your bills, going to work. But if you can get your income, your passive income, to surpass your expenses, then you're free. For all my coaching students that are on this call, we have gone through this. This is how you buy your freedom. When you buy your freedom, that means you don't have to go to work. I encourage everybody to work somewhere that they love. But the point is that you can spend your full time on your purpose. You can spend your full time doing whatever you want and or level up your life. So I love this game. I'm actually playing it with some more people tonight with our appropriate distance, even though I'm in a place where we have no cases of the virus. All right, so the best way to win this game, and I love just sneak attacking people with this because I love winning, but the way to win this game, there are 3 incredible opportunities. Well, really 2 in the game. And I'm going to go through those because we're living this opportunity right now. I'm telling you, it's like a dream. So number 1, the biggest, well, not biggest, but one huge opportunity right now is in buying stock that you would have never, ever had access to. All right, so this is our graph. As the COVID-19 cases increase, stocks are dropping. Certain stocks, not others, but certain stocks are dropping. So I was sitting at a dinner table yesterday, or 2 days ago, and I said, who thinks it's a good idea for me to buy cruise stock? Raise your hand. And everybody, no, don't do it. You're an idiot. That's the dumbest thing you could ever do. Blah, blah, blah. Don't do it. It's so stupid. Nobody's going on cruises right now. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, fine. So 2 days ago, the Carnival just picked one. I really just picked one. Carnival stock was at $8.49. Its 12-month high was at $72.34. There is no reason Carnival stock should be that low. They're not a bad company. It's not that they had corruption. It's not that they were embezzling or some weird things happening and they didn't have enough cash. It's literally because of this virus. So when things are on sale just because of the virus, take note of those stocks. So just for me personally, I am not a stock advisor. I'm not an advisor in any of this stuff. I'm just an entrepreneur and a friend who's looking for opportunity in what looks like a disaster, and I'm sharing my ideas. So this is what we're doing. So where I'm personally investing in any stock that has dropped like this, we're going to watch those cases grow. But when they consistently, after a few days, few weeks, however long you want to wait, start going down, that's when I'm going to buy. So yeah, maybe Carnival will be at $15 when that starts to happen, but that's when I'm going to be investing. If you bought it at $30, you're still okay as long as you just wait. Don't let any of this become an emotional journey because if the world is freaking out and the peer pressure is to just sell everything. Warren Buffett's model is just hold on to it till it's back again. Just hold on and you'll be okay. So it is a great time to buy because if all you invested, let's say you bought it right there, if all you invested was $5,000, which some of you on this call have 15 million you could be buying, and some of you have $200. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. We're using the example of $5,000. If you just wait for it to return to normal, you will have your $5,000 turn into $43,910. Let's pretend that was $50,000. $500,000. Again, I'm not telling you to bet on anything. I'm telling you to be a wise steward, knowing that things are on sale that shouldn't be on sale. So this is, again, Carnival, just picked one. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Coronavirus. Now, if you saw it plunge like that for other reasons, Pay attention. Other things that are on sale, which we're going to talk at the end. I want to hear, this is a G-Force call. I'll share, or I'll bring in a top leader in the industry on whatever we're talking about. And then we do experience sharing at the end. So I'm really looking forward to hearing other people's ideas. That was just an example, but some other things that are on sale is Lyft. People love Lyft. People love Uber. Those are great companies. Everybody raise your hand if you agree. We all agree this is going to continue to be successful. Not during the coronavirus. So if you're getting Lyft at 50% off, it's probably going to end up being a very good placement in the future. Again, I am not telling you anything. I'm not giving advice. I'm just sharing concepts with you of when things don't seem to make sense, why they're on sale, other than for this one thing that's going to go away. It's probably ideal to get into. All right, who's interested in learning if real estate is an opportunity and when? Okay. Thanks, Andreas. Great. So here is the COVID-19 cases as they are rising. Again, I just drew these graphs. They're not perfect graphs, just trying to use an example. Unemployment is skyrocketing way faster. We have like a couple thousand cases in America, and unemployment, I don't have a friend right now that hasn't laid off almost 30% of their staff. All my friends are entrepreneurs. So there are a lot of jobs going away very, very quickly, way faster than this case is, because we understand in order to stay alive, you can't spend excess cash flow. Well, real estate is going to stay even for a while. Again, this is a prediction. My thing is real estate, so I'm not going to say anything bad that I don't believe is just a way to navigate through this. So real estate's probably going to stay steady. And again, real estate, the key with real estate is knowing your area. Know thine location. Second home locations are going to get hit worse than first home. That's what happens every time. It's just part of the deal. People want to keep their permanent roof over their head as long as they can. But when unemployment gets real high, they'll have enough money to burn through for a couple months, and then we will see a drop. I do not know how dramatic this drop is going to be. It really does depend on how long this goes. We have to plan for 18 months because we're not idiots. It's my favorite quote ever. Is Michael Scott's advice to Dwight Schrute. Don't be an idiot. All right. So real estate's going to be a lot more even than stocks just because people can live in their homes versus just not going to work. But we will see it drop a little bit, especially depending on where you live. So this is where, if you're going to be an investor, again, it is a great time to buy a house. Interest rates are crazy low. And as long, just like stocks, you hold on and you don't try to sell it when everybody else is trying to sell it, you'll be fine. It's going to return to normal and probably even better. But if you're looking for a crazy good deal, there are going to be people who sell quickly or for less just because they're cash starved. So it doesn't actually mean that the things are worth less. It means that there's more availability because people are just trying to get cash. The ill-prepared will need cash. This is a great time to buy. Again, we're waiting till the virus starts going down in cases. You can buy it here. You can buy it here. Around here is just kind of the sweet spot. I got it? Oh, let me go in here. My friend Andreas is on. He is a big-time real estate investor and agent in Miami. And we were discussing this yesterday. Again, my network is the most important thing to me right now. My strategy circle, just helping navigate these crazy times. And we were talking about some of the strategies are to call anybody you know that's an investor, if you're a developer, agent, whatever, and just say, hey, who's got cash? Let's build a fund. And if things do go on sale, let's swoop in. Guys, we have like a short-term 2007, 2008, 2009 situation on our hands. Now that you know what that is like, for those of you on this call old enough to remember, what would you have done differently? This is not brand new information. We've done this before. We just don't know how long it'll last, which we never do. But hindsight is 2020. How can we take what we learned and come out really strong on the other side? Not cut people's legs off or swoop in like vultures. but buy things that people do need to unload and help stabilize things and not let them all go abandoned. The banks are going to need us to be buying things. All right, so opportunity number 3. These are 3 massive opportunities. A lot of people haven't been thinking about why this is so great, but for all of you employers out there, seeing the widespread unemployment swooping across the world, I am not predicting this, but the predictions I've heard are 25 to 50% of Americans will not have jobs, depending on how bad this gets, which is why we're all hiding in our houses and being smart because we don't want it to get that far. But if unemployment is that bad, guess who's on sale? The best of the best. Just like you can pick up assets that aren't worth more and stocks that are worth more, you can get people, not that you're not paying them what they're worth, but you're getting people who wouldn't have been available. When you're an employer and you're looking for people, you try to hunt down the best. If you can poach them, you always feel like they're going to cheat on you. You just do. And then if they're available and just kind of out there, you're like, wait a minute, you're way too hot to be single. What's wrong with you? Where's the crazy? What's wrong? So without having those 2 paranoias, we can get quality people that are now available, need opportunity, and you can raise the bar. I'm not telling you to fire anybody. I'm saying cut the fat. You can raise the bar for your own employees. They have an opportunity to step up or step out, and have an excellent crew. So by creating a mission-driven, incredible work environment, you can actually attract the best talent first. That's something that we've just always done. I do share even on my Instagram. I've got a highlight called The Office, and we have a lot of fun. We're very empowering. We have idea sharing. They're part of the fabric of creating this company, not just me. We've got an amazing workspace, and I've always attracted a lot of people that are great, but this is like, I just heard of some people this morning that are some of the best in the world that fired 50% of their staff, and they have thousands of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, those people are available. Whoa, swoop in and grab them. So awesome opportunity, and be looking for them. So make sure that you are prepared for how to bring them on. Of course, I'm very, very, very into making sure you give your employees the opportunity first. Don't just swipe people. These are people's lives. These are people's lives. And if you can cut costs anywhere else other than a human being, do it. But if you have to switch them over, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, of how do you not fire them, but allow them to be part of the success so you're not the only one carrying the burden. All right, so worst case scenario, we're going to talk about if all hell breaks loose. I am not saying this is going to happen. I am a faith-driven person. I believe for the best, but I plan for the worst because people's lives depend on me, and I'm not an idiot. So one of the top disease modelers said 160 million to 240 people in the US alone could be infected. That's about 1.7 to 2 million deaths just in the US. 2.4 to 21 million, that's quite the range. That's how much we don't know. Could require the hospitalization, and we are only set up to have 925,000 hospitalized beds. So that's a lot more than we're ready to handle. Even the minimum is more than double what we are prepared to handle. So we're seeing this everywhere else that's actually sharing the reality of their situation, which is Italy, way more than China, is actually sharing what can happen, how bad this is. And we all never want to put our doctors in the position of somebody who has the flu and just can't breathe that well is going to die over this because somebody wasn't careful. So we're keeping things under the curve. You all are probably experiencing this, as I see many of my entrepreneur friends who have these businesses, but service, performance, tourism, and travel industries will suffer the most because it's very, very hard to work from home in those industries. This is preventable. It can be prevented by actually listening to the government. Again, I know you're angry. Everyone's angry. Everybody's angry. But we have to do this together. We have to overcome this together just as a nation, and to share with other people why this matters. If you have the symptoms, I'm sure everyone knows this, but I'm going to share it again. Don't just waltz into a hospital. If you really do have the symptoms, call them and they will create a quarantined room for you so that you don't idiotically infect everybody else in there that was there with their broken arm in the emergency room. Don't host the mass gatherings. You can host mass Zoom calls up to 300 people. And limit your travel, work from home. If you're a parent of children, do virtual school. My mom's laughing at how everybody's thought we were nerdy for being homeschooled our whole life. She's like, I look like a superwoman now. I look so smart. Finally, I look so smart. My mom's awesome. Wash your dang hands and brush your teeth while you're at it. Stay home if you're sick. All right, so who wants to know what is working during these crazy times? Interested to know what is working. Everything was already going online. So a lot of people, I've got a lot of friends that, I really should get online, but I just don't know how. Or I need to be on Amazon and I just never figured it out. I'm just too busy. Guess what? You get to figure it out now, real quick and in a hurry. So that's an amazing opportunity for you to grow your business, especially when things go back to normal. You will have double. Everything was already going there. It's just pushing the people who didn't feel like figuring out the technology. We're going to be talking about that a lot in future G-Force calls, exactly where to go, how to use it, what the process is. Right, lowering prices. So if you've got anything you can turn into group pricing or getting people, whatever, lowering your prices and appealing to the masses. One of my favorite quotes is, if you want to have $1 billion, find a way to serve 1 billion people. So that's an opportunity for you. Humor. I shared this on Thursday, but my favorite thing about this entire horrible, disastrous crisis are the memes. I love the memes. Feel free to share them with me. They're my favorite part of this whole craziness. We just laugh all day long, especially with my friends that have had to let people go. I just send them memes all day. I'm like, will this help? But you can actually use memes to sell your product. So find a way to use humor. And this, again, it's just like a really weird time. And because we're all going through it together, everyone knows all the memes about toilet paper. I don't care what you think. You all bought extra toilet paper, especially the Americans. I know you. We all did it. Especially when we saw that it was going on eBay for $120 for a pack of toilet paper. This is a hilarious Chick-fil-A ad, really. But find a way to get your products into being funny ads. And again, we're not mocking that people are dying from this. We're mocking the situation. Selling your services and courses online. Find a way. Again, I've had coach after coach say, I can't do it anymore because of this. Get online. That is one of the best stocks right now is Zoom. Zoom has doubled in the last 60 days, and I think it just went up a lot. Even it's going to keep going up as more people learn about it and are forced to work from home. I saw an article today, 75 million Americans forced to be at home. That's so much of our population. And this is just the beginning. So Zoom is probably going to keep going up. I love Zoom. Hosting shows and events virtually. We're working on how to do that. How do you, again, apply the CDC rules and still host your events? Just do them virtually. People are getting really creative with that. Policies and procedures that promote health and safety from the virus. So this cute little teepee down here is my favorite house in the world. That's the Peace Teepee for anybody who's stayed in there. It's the most adorable Airbnb on earth. And in order to keep it booked, I've actually only had one cancellation during this whole craziness. I've had friends that have lost a ton of Airbnbs, but I've only had one cancellation. And one of our major headlines in the promotion of this isn't, look how cute the Peace Teepee is. It's, we use medical grade cleaner and deep clean between every booking. It's like we fumigate it. And people have been more confident to go there. And if there's an issue, we'll deal with it. But so far, so good. And that thing's booked all the way out for the rest of the year, which is amazing. So we own apartment complexes. I got a lot of other real estate investors in here who are nervous about how do you navigate through your amenity spaces? Can you have the social gatherings? So we're putting a lot of notices out there on exactly what the rules are. We're repurposing certain people instead of firing them to just clean the heck out of the place. And we're emphasizing the safety. So I learned that this was still really important for people to not lose their minds, as long as you can keep those community spaces open, like the gym. When my most paranoid team member, Tori, who is on this call, said, she was like, we need to work from home, like really early on. And we're all like, she's crazy. But she still went to the gym And she said, I just walk around with Lysol wipes literally on my hands. So instead of me saying it's impossible, it's how is this possible? How can we keep spaces open and provide the safety and security that people need to keep operating there? Our houses. So if you do have something cool like a getaway, especially a big house, what we're seeing is it depends on how your house is, but the mega wealthy are renting yachts and islands and different ideas like that, and they're staying in them and they're treating them as safe havens. And so your space can still be active. So if I lose all my bookings on Peace TV, for example, I'll offer it out there to say, hey, 3-month booking, come hide out here, quarantine yourself in an inspiring place with art, blah, 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 blah. And I'll just say you can book it for that long at a discount or not at a discount, it just depends. And so if you've got a property that's large enough to be a safe haven and it's quarantined off and people can book it for longer, people know they're going to be quarantined, have dang good Wi-Fi, figure out food delivery for them, maybe stock it before, but you can activate your spaces versus losing all tourism travel. Make sense? This is another thing that we're doing. We have not stopped our showings for all the realtors on there. There's a huge movement into virtual tours. People are still buying. Also, you can meet your buyers at the house, give them a mask, sanitize their hands, walk around. You're just not going to be able to put a dang sign in the yard anymore. I'm sorry. I'm an agent. I can say this. You have to actually earn it, people. You have to get out there and earn it. It's going to be a lot more work, but who cares? Run with the market while you can. And if you can put something like this on Amazon, medical grade air filtration stuff in the houses, then sellers are going to be a lot less worried, especially if they're still living in the house, people in their home. Okay, is this still interesting? Still good? Okay, what to do? Believe in your heart. No matter what, opportunity never goes away. It really does switch places. So I got into real estate in blessed 2007. And I got in because everybody said, oh yeah, you got to get into real estate in the beginning. And of course, when I got in, it was literally like the month Lehman Brothers crashed. And I was like, I don't know why this isn't working because I don't watch TV. I didn't know that the world was crashing. I thought I was just a failure for a while. But what I learned is, especially in my first year flipping houses, is people are still buying houses, even though everything around us is foreclosing. People are still buying houses, but which ones are they buying? Which ones are they buying? If this is normally your buyer pool, and this is your new buyer pool, how can you get the attention from this tiny buyer pool? And I'm not just talking about houses, whatever it is. This may have been your buyer pool. How do you get the same amount or, less people to buy you? Not everybody else. You have to be this good. You have to be the first pick. You have to be that excellent. Number one is to keep your perspective. This is what to do. Stay healthy. This is Whitney. She's on the call. You can follow her. Whitney Weiser Fit. She's amazing. Stay healthy. Don't add to the problem. And don't be an idiot. Look for the dang opportunity. If your eyes are open, you will find it. If you've got that filter versus looking at what's broken, what's wrong. Every morning, I don't care if it sounds cheesy, every single morning, I wake up and I write down what is working in my life. And when I have a massive wave of fear try to overtake me, or I read something that just shook me, and I don't really know how to deal with it, I just write down whatever is working. And you know what? At some point in my life, at certain points, it's been, I have legs. I'm grateful because if I didn't have legs, I would be wishing I had legs. I just have them. Thank you, God. And whatever it is, my mom loves me. I'm a free American. I'm not in prison. Whatever it is, it can be something so crazy. Whatever you're grateful for, whatever is working, just practice looking for that first versus getting overwhelmed with all the things you can't control. Keep your strategy circle. Meet other people on this call, network with them. Do not talk to everybody that is the woe is me right now. You've got to get your mind right. The world is going to go way more crazy. Okay. You have to be strong, really strong right now. If you're not sick and your family member is not dying, you must be strong and you must be a leader right now. Stabilize your assets. What I mean by this is if you have anything in your life that could be bringing in money, make it bring in money. If you have an empty rental and you just haven't finished the floor, finish the floor. Finish the floor. Get it done. If you have an e-course that you've just, I just didn't get it to it, blah, blah, blah. I'm watching Netflix. Finish your e-course and get it out there and learn. This is your time to learn. What other opportunity? When else are you going to get the opportunity to be cooped up in a house? You get to grow your mind. This is your chance. So whatever your assets are, execute, execute, execute. Every single hour. I can't even tell you, like 3 days ago, my mindset was so different because the news is so different. We had to strategize so different 3 days ago. The world is changing by the hour. If you have a closing, get it closed. If you have anything you can like move and like finish, just do it. I don't care about balance right now. The world is out of balance. If you want to have if you don't have millions of dollars just chilling, if you're not like so set for 2 years plus being able to take care of your family, you better hustle right now for as long as you can. It may just completely stop, but you were executing while you could. Don't mess around, people. Whatever job you do have, do it excellently. If you have a client, treat them well, because you will get voted off the island if you're anything other than beyond amazing. Because somebody's willing to be amazing. And if they're not, the world's going to get real desperate and they will figure out how to be amazing. So figure that out. I'm personally loving these low interest rates and I'm refinancing everything. So we're about to get into like where you can pull money from. So anything that I have at anything high interest rate at all, I'm refinancing and making sure that my payments are lower. My projects are all cash flowing at their highest level they possibly can. Stockpile some cash. Stockpile it. Work 7 days a week. Like I said, nobody's going to feel sorry for you if you have opportunity and you just felt sorry for yourself. You didn't activate it. So if you have a home and you have equity in your house, this is a really great strategy. I am never pro telling people to get into debt. All right. I'm going to start with that. But I am going to tell you that this is how all my friends that survived 2008 survived 2008. If you have a home, say you owe $200,000 and it's worth $400,000, that $200,000 is called equity. There are lines of credit that you can get from a bank, just like a mortgage, called a home equity line of credit. And you can actually borrow against your own value in your house. So the way that my friends survived 2008 is they went and pulled that money out and put it in a bank account and just paid the minimums on everything. They didn't have to fire sell anything. They weren't cash strapped. They just survived it. It lasted like 3 years for them to just pay the minimums. They knew it was higher interest. They didn't care. They just survived. They just got through this time. But they had cash. It's better to have cash and be a little bit in debt than have zero cash and have to lose your asset or your assets or all your company or your family. You don't want to do that. Drop any and all unnecessary expenses. Again, spare the human being as long as you possibly can. You know what? And there's amazing ways to repurpose people. So when Necker Island got hit by the hurricanes in 2017, I was just talking to them earlier today, they said it's a different kind of disaster for them. So they got hit, all of their buildings were completely destroyed. And instead of firing their 150 staff, they gave them the opportunity and said, if you still want a job, you're now contractors, you're now on the job site, you're now cleaning up. If you're humble enough to go from being a bartender or a server to now cleaning up the job site, you still have a job. So they were repurposed, and that was really awesome for them. They said that this is a different kind of disaster because there's nothing for people to do. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing and repurposing people as long as you can. I have 2 people that do work for me that went from salary to commission only. The commission's even higher. So they actually can make almost twice what they were going to make. It's just less secure in their mind, but the burden's not just on me. You want the opportunity, it's there. If not, I'm not going down with the ship alone, trying to take care of you if you aren't willing to put in the work. It's a great opportunity for them. Again, find a way to keep people employed, even if you just have to move them to a contract basis. So you may have to take them off of your W-2, but just say, we're going to contract you for work. And so that's a great way to cut down on the fact that this is really unsure. Don't make a lot of commitments to people. It is unsure. Watch what you're promising. But being a leader doesn't require you to promise. It says, I promise to do the best thing I possibly know how to do. And by being educated, you can be a leader. You can't just poop and just flop around, in fear. Figure out what is going on and find a way to navigate through it. So this is the best time ever, oh my gosh, to grow your brand. If you want to be an influencer, you want to have a lot of followers, I have been scouring the internet. If anybody knows somebody actually being a leader during this time and sharing information like this and any kind of strategy, please share them with me, because I haven't found anybody. And I've been really disappointed in the people that I follow. They're firing lots of their people themselves and like bundling up and hiding. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You were the person I listened to all the time. So find a way to share what is working. Like you can screenshot these slides. I don't care. Share things that are working, help people out, help them open their mind, help them change their filters to find opportunity. And people will want to follow you. They need hope right now. So another, you can share even things like, hey, did you know interest rates are in the twos? It just got down to in the twos the other day. It is a great time to buy a house. For the agents, you can say, 5 years ago, if you bought a $400,000 house, your house would have been $3,800. Today it's $1,800 and you're still paying it off. The difference is your interest payment. So there's really cool information you can be sharing as an educator, not the person who has it all together, just the little pieces you do know that may help someone else. Share it and stay informed. So we've got a lot of questions on the last call on what are some credible sources. Hold on. So we've got CDC, World Health Organization, and the Public Health Department. They shouldn't have an agenda to just try to scare you to death and sell a bunch of newspapers and articles and ads. Those are the legitimate places to find real information to make the public aware versus scared to sell news articles. Everybody knows the news is a business. Okay, so this is a quick and dirty idea. Not every state applies, but if you are a business and you want some help, it's crazy. The SBA is calling this literally an official disaster. And I do a lot of disaster relief work. And I was just like, wait a minute, this isn't the official terminology is disaster. So if you're looking for interest or assistance, the SBA is actually giving loans to small businesses. This is brand new. And you may actually be able to find really low, like 1 to 2% interest rate loans to be able to pay your employees during this time. And there's been talk, I can't commit, but there's been talk of them even forgiving the loans or charging no interest. But they really are aware that small businesses are what keep America alive. And so they're creating different programs to help you so that you don't fire everybody because you don't have enough cash. Most people don't have enough cash. They just don't. It's part of it, especially for startups. And so they're aware of that, and you want to have cash, but if you don't, that's one awesome strategy. All right, so this is strategies to let your team work from home. I don't know an entrepreneur that is comfortable, like fully comfortable with their team working from home if you haven't done it before, if that's not how you're set up, because we don't trust ourselves to not spend the whole day doing dishes and cleaning out the closet, and I can't think in a messy room and the kids being loud. We don't trust ourselves. That's why we don't trust employees most of the time. It doesn't mean they're bad, just as part of how humanity works. So we've got 3 really awesome sources that you guys can use to help your team work from home and still be highly effective. So we use Zoom. This is Zoom. Virtual teams, you can also record. I think it's like $140 a year to be able to record. And that's also how we're doing our training. So if we've got a new employee and we have somebody needing to train, they'll actually record the whole process on Zoom. We'll save it in a certain file. And then anytime we have a new employee, that's how we document our policies and procedures. So that's just a cool idea that we use Zoom on the regular. And like I said, their stock is crushing it right now. Absolutely crushing it and going to continue to go up. Align Today, this is what we use. It's actually a really great program. You can get your vision out of your head, your like 20-year vision, and back it down into a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, down to what we even have as a daily huddle. And so we have a big weekly meeting with the whole team. All right, top 5 priorities. We have to get these done. Each person, I'll do general announcements. We'll share any information that's helpful. But then we say, this has to get done this week. But now that we're all working virtually and things are changing by the minute, we actually have a daily huddle. So we all log in on our Zoom call. That's actually a screenshot of it. And then we'll go through our daily huddle and say, this is a top thing that I commit to getting done. I'll share any information from yesterday everybody needs to know. And by the way, you can see right here, I did get my project done from yesterday. So Toggle, I don't know of a legit company that lets their team work from home that doesn't use a software like this. This is just one of many. And Toggle tracks minute by minute what your team is doing. They actually have to log into it in order to have their hours count. So this tracking them minute by minute, it's allowing an admin, your operations person or yourself, whoever's not muted needs to be muted. Allow your admin to see all the team's progress. You can see it minute by minute what your team is working on. All right. Where you should be investing your time, energy, and resources right now, building out your business online. If you're not online, get online. If you're not good online, get really good online. Courses are working. So a lot of you have incredible gifts and can teach people how to overcome things or do things really well. Kajabi is one of many, but that's the one that we've gone through and are using for e-courses ourselves. It just had a lot of functionality and it seemed to be really easy to use, beautiful, and the highest functionality for the cost. So doing online seminars, digital workshops, email campaigns, online advertising. I've got a friend that does ClickFunnels. And again, finding new innovations. So again, this is where you should be investing your time, energy, and resources, is building out your business online. If you have a course, make one. It can create cash flow for you. I think a lot of people would like to be learning right now, and they'd love to be learning from you. So figure out a way to get your stuff out of your head and in a sellable format, and be looking for new innovations. Do not forget your purpose in this. At G-Force, we spent a lot of time on understanding like your why, how you incorporate that into your business so that you're living your purpose all day long. I'm not into helping people become multimillionaires or billionaires or whatever they end up being if you aren't happy and living your purpose during the process, you know? And so we've got a way to do that, but I just want you to remind yourself, when things get really tough, you have to idiot proof it for yourself. How can I constantly remind myself what matters most so that I can stay focused on that and filter everything through that? So I summarized my eulogy, that's the fastest way to know your purpose, into 2 words, which is the purpose of my life is to serve. And I ask myself every day, how can I be serving right now? Getting somebody a water, to teaching this class, to sending an encouraging meme to someone, whatever it is, find a way to serve and find a way to live your purpose during this time. Just don't forget. It's so easy to forget. Take your time each day to remind yourself. My mirror is like covered with things. Just say, oh yeah, don't forget. This is how it works. This is how it works. Every successful person has a story similar to what we're all going through right now. And this is going to be the great divider of who gets to rise above and have a double portion or get knocked out of the game. You get to decide. So just a couple ideas on how to be a force for good at this time is, again, sharing messages of hope. If you have legit resources, sharing those. What is working in your company? What is working with your teams? What's working with you? Joining a community of opportunity thinking people. Figure out who else is on this call. You're all, of course, invited to join G-Force. Would love to have you. Continue to educate yourself. Don't add to the misfortune. Oh my gosh, we already know. And the biggest shift is just to don't think of this as a disaster. Think of it as an opportunity.